And lastly, scene 3. That's where the investor is falling through the cave. And obviously, needless am I to say that the cave uses the same principle that we've seen on the other scene, which is doing this 3D separation. So when the camera falls in, because of the depth of the layers, some will go faster. So we'll have the parallax effect basically. And the plants are basically animated. Each plant is animated. So each plant is animated with a ripple. So let's just go straight there and let's just try to see what's going on, which is here. So if I just bring this one here, so you can see that each plant has this ripple effect, and the ripple is put here so that all the ripples come out this way instead of the ripple being in the center. Because if the ripple is in the center, it means that these will flow differently from the part here. So what I want is I want them all to go simultaneously in the same place. So that's why I did it that way. Cool. Then it's dark, and every time it passes by some, so there is a mask following this, and whenever it passes by something, you can see that something a little bit. Of course, we have some bubbles. Why not? And then there is a particle emitted from this, as you can see here. There are particles, so I'm just gonna increase this so you can see here. So there are particles that just flow from there, and they have the colors of this particle. All right, let's get back. And then of course we have the elephant in the room. Now there's a bunch of things going on, so we'll just focus on few. The first one being is the energy. All right, so the energy is using the same thing that I've taught you in scene 1, which is when you make this stroke, and it's actually using the same stroke. So you make a stroke, you color it, you give it a glow. Chromatic aberration is just to give it a little bit of a oomph, as you can see here. So it's not fully purple or blue, but it actually has that, I call it the Riot Games signature, which is blue and some red, but you don't have the green. So this is something that you see in most Riot Games concept arts recently. So that's the way they do their concept art, is they use this trick in chromatic aberration where the green is not there. It's like one of the channels would not be there. It's either it's not going to be the blue, or either it's not going to be the red, or either it's not going to be the green. Most of the time they omit the green because it doesn't really look nice. Okay, so basically, again, as I said, the puppet tool will just make sure that this, gets rotated. And then I use the same thing for each and everything, and I just rotate the puppet tool according to what I feel like it. So as you can see here, if I wanted to go all the way here, I'll do it here. If I wanted to start from somewhere far, so it just depended on what I want. And of course, they are omitted by the hand shape layer. All right, so this is what we have. And once we get there, we have a little bit of a burst. Okay, so once everything is there, as you can see. So everything is basically using the same thing. Now, let's look at these things here. So this is when it comes to what I call the liquid particle. So it's just particles that are just flowing down and have a little bit of air, and we go to turbulence field, and they have turbulence effect position. So they will be flowing, as you can see, like that. And then this thing will start happening. I use the optical flare again, as you know me from my previous tutorials. I use optical flare in really weird ways. Instead of using the flare, I basically just use these. So I'll just go and select the item. So what I do is I go to lens object, and there are some custom ones, and then these are the basic ones that you get from the original optical flares, and then you can get some custom ones and make custom ones and add them. So that's how I used it. So as the intensity of the particle goes up, and then it starts adding, and then it just leaves when the boom happened. Now the boom, what's the boom? All right, let's watch. So this is the boom thing. All right, so what's actually happening? So do we have more? Yeah, we do have more, but these are the cards. You see? Now, what is actually happening here? Let's look at one of them. So this particular one here, it's basically just a stroke that is scaling. We add CC glass, it becomes like that. We add deep glow, it becomes like that. That's it. And then you just use it on some other ones. And then you blur some. Literally, that's it. So if you think I've used some magic or something, I didn't. And that's all I did. Alright, so I just use very cheap tricks and it just works. And I just keep getting with it every single time. I don't know why. People are easy to trick, I guess. I don't know. It's basically just this. Alright, and then, yeah, then we have the card reveal. Alright, so let's look at the hand. So it's a bunch of particles that are highly blurred and they just keep going up. That's basically what it is, right? So I'm just gonna turn this off. So it's just particles, but then when you turbulent displace, when you base your warp and then you deep glow, they give you that. Now let's look at this one here, which is the big one here. Again, same thing. Normal particles, as you can see, it's just particles that goes up. You blur them a lot, you turbulent displace them, you do a directional blur, now they look up, and you warp them. So you warp them this way so they look like it's one of those lights magic thing that happens. So yeah, it's just very basic tricks, but we've put them together. They can give you the thing that you want to achieve. We have some liquid coming in. Cool. Yeah, and then we have this, as we said, the hand particles. Yeah, so basically that is scene 3, and that actually concludes everything about this project. Of course, we have some very simple basic text animation. When it comes to the logo, just have a very quick look at it. So is this, yeah, which is this one here. So as you can see, it's just position, and I scaled it. So when you scale it, it looks like it's 3D, but it's not. And when we look at the water here, so it's just a wave warp thing. So when you have wave warp, you will get that thing. And I wanted to simulate time, so I made it go position down. And since it's using an alpha matte, so once it goes down, it's out. Cool. And then of course the text Wonderland just scales it. All right, there you have it. That's the entire project. Hope you learned some stuff. It was pretty enjoyable on my part. I hope it was for you too, and I hope it will help you in one of your projects. My name is Mr. Popo, and we are Popo. I'll catch you on the next one.